I nearly choked when my best friend's husband asked if he could borrow me for the weekend. We were at their kitchen table having coffee when he casually dropped that bomb. Excuse me, I stammered, looking between him and Leela. My best friend of 15 years, Dave smiled that irritatingly perfect smile of his, for my high school reunion. Lila can't go because of her conference in Chicago, and I need someone to pose as my wife. Relief washed over me, quickly followed by confusion. Why not just go alone, or skip it? Lila shifted uncomfortably. Remember Bradley Wilson, Dave's former best friend? I nodded. Bradley was all Dave had talked about when he and Leela first started dating. The golden boy who'd betrayed him, stolen his girlfriend's senior year, then went on to build a tech empire worth billions. Bradley's hosting the reunion at his estate, Dave explained. He called personally to make sure I am coming. With your beautiful, successful wife, Leila added, not meeting my eyes. Something clicked. The wife Bradley's never met because you've avoided every reunion until now. Dave nodded. I might have embellished a few things over the years. A few things. Leela's laugh was hollow. He told Bradley I am a corporate attorney who runs marathons and models part-time. I stared at Dave. I am a kindergarten teacher who gets winded going upstairs. No one's going to believe I am Leela. They've never met her, Dave insisted. Just wear her clothes, flash that English degree vocabulary, and act like you own the room. Against my better judgment, I agreed, partly because I loved Leela, partly because I'd never seen Dave so desperate, and partly because, well, who doesn't want to play dress up in a billionaire's mansion? The weekend started fine. Dave's former classmates were too self-absorbed to question who I was. But at dinner, seated directly across from Bradley Wilson himself, things unraveled. So Leela, Bradley said, studying me with unsettling intensity. Dave tells me you just won a major class action lawsuit. I froze. Dave hadn't briefed me on this particular lie. She's being modest. Dave jumped in. The settlement was confidential. And you ran the Chicago Marathon in? What was your time again, Dave? 3 hours, 42 minutes, Dave answered quickly. Impressive. Bradley smiled at me, especially for someone who recently recovered from a broken ankle. My stomach dropped. There was no way he could know I'd actually broken my ankle last year. As the night progressed, Bradley's questions became more pointed, each one revealing another hole in Dave's fabricated life. I watched Dave's confidence crumble with each exchange. By dessert, I'd had enough. When Bradley asked about our villa in Tuscany, I put down my fork. There is no villa, I said quietly. Here is no law degree, no marathon medals, and I am not Leela. The table fell silent. I am Katie, Leela's best friend. I am a kindergarten teacher who lives in a one-bedroom apartment, and the only thing I've ever won was a pie-eating contest at summer camp. Bradley's expression was unreadable. Dave has spent 15 years letting you live rent-free in his head, I continued. He created this fictional perfect life because he thought, that's what would impress you. But you know what's actually impressive? The real Dave. I turned to my husband for the weekend. The Dave who coaches Little League, even though he doesn't have kids, who learned to cook when Leela, his actual wife who's at a teacher's conference right now, got food poisoning and couldn't eat anything but homemade soup for a month. The Dave who still drives his college car because he's saving for a house with a yard where neighborhood kids can play. I am going to call a cab. Nice meeting everyone. As I waited outside, Bradley Wilson appeared beside me. You know, he said, I never actually stole Dave's girlfriend. She chose me then dumped me 2 weeks later. But Dave had already transferred schools. The rumors just grew. The next morning, Dave showed up at my apartment with coffee and apologies. Bradley's offered me a job, he said, looking stunned. Head of community outreach for his foundation, said he needs someone authentic. 4 years later, I was the actual maid of honor at Bradley and Leela's sister's wedding. Dave gave the best man speech. Sometimes the life you are pretending to have keeps you from seeing the life you actually do.